Guys, James is just going to say a few words and then he'll be available for a couple of questions.
Pretty close. Well, as I told the Commission last night, I am deeply sorry for what happened at our football club in 2012. I do take a level of responsibility for what happened in our football club in 2012, and I think for the good of the game and for the good of our football club, and most importantly, well, for two entities, for our players and for our supporters, I'm so glad that this has finished and that the game can move on and our players can move on. I think it's been a very trying time for everybody, but most importantly for our players. And speaking to the players last night and speaking to them this morning, I think we're all disappointed at the level of sanctions that have been put on the club, but we understand that some sanctions had to be placed on our club, and it's time to move on. I think that, from my point of view, it's disappointing not to be coaching next year. But as I said, I should have known what was going on. I should have done more, and I'm very disappointed that I didn't. But it is now time to move on.
James, given that you have accepted this penalty, is that you conceding that you did break the rules?
Not at all. No.
Why is that?
Not at all. Well, I didn't break the rules that I was charged with. Those charges have been dropped, and we've agreed to move on.
So, James, what are you guilty of?
What am I guilty of? Look, there's a level of responsibility you have as a senior coach. The senior coach is responsible for a lot of things at a football club. There were things that went on at our football club that shouldn't have happened last year, and as senior coach, I have to take some responsibility for what happened and not doing more to stop it.
What did you say to the players, negotiations, James? I mean, there was the Supreme Court writ. Why did you decide to settle?
I think it's time to move on. I think that the game, really, the game was needed to move on. I think it wasn't good for anyone in the game, and particularly our players and our club. Our players need to be able to go and play football and move on. And fighting a battle in the Supreme Court against the AFL on a matter of principle, I just think was probably not the right thing to do for our players and even for myself and my family. The time to move on.
James, now that it's all over, you just say it's been tough as much as you're disappointed. Is there a sense of relief now?
Not really sure. It's been so raw. I think what I have to do first the next 12 months is go around to all of my neighbours and apologise for the intrusion that's been on their lives from you guys. But I'm not sure what will happen the next 12 months. I think I need to go away with my family and just think about where we want to go. But I'm very keen to come back and coach this club in 2015, I think it is. So that's my ambition.
James, what did you say to the players this morning?
I just spoke to a few of them individually and just talked about the future for them and talked about how important it is for them to get back to playing football.
We still got to get your side of the story, James. Are there some things that we need to know to sort of fill in the gaps here?
I'd definitely tell my side of the story. I think you need to give me a few days just to catch my breath and work through that. But I'd like to tell my side of the story and from my point of view, what actually happened in 2012.
So you won't coach at all in 2014, even if the club makes the finals?
I'm not really sure. We haven't worked through that. Yeah.
Do you have a message for the fans?
Oh, to our supporters, I'm really sorry, dreadfully sorry about what happened. That you've had to go through this. That our supporters are. Our football club is a great football club, and it has been unfairly dealt with this year. As I said, we do own those mistakes. But the way it has been treated, I don't think is fair. And our supporters have been great through that. They've stood by us, they've supported us, and we need their support more than ever, and the players need their support more than ever now.
And are you the right man to coach the Bombers next year?
I've got no idea. I don't know, but I think that we'd all like to see Mark Thompson do it. I think he's the obvious choice, and that'll be a decision for the club and Mark.
Do you 100% step away from Essendon now? Will you have anything to do with the club at all?
I've been an Essendon supporter since I was born. Part of my family. I don't think I could ever step away from the Essendon Football Club. It's part of who I am. It's part of who I'll always be. So I've got no intention of stepping away. I don't think I'm allowed to actively work for them Well, I know I'm not allowed to actively work for them, but when you love the Essendon Footy Club and it's part of your heart, you never step away.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Boys, radio guys.